Okay, Shalom. I want to start off by giving all praises. Let me say Barakatah Yahweh, Barakatah Yahweh Shai, Barakatah Yahweh, Barakatah Yahweh Shai, Barakatah Yahweh, Barakatah Yahweh Shai, Call Halal Yahweh, Bahashim Yahweh Shai, Bahashim Racha Kodash. Double honors to my apostles and elder bishops here in Great Millstone who rule well. Salutations to the Lord's hopeful elect scattered abroad. I'm the brother Taza War from the GMS New Jersey camp, and just here again this morning, head to the gig, and I found a video that I was looking for because I couldn't get this chick name, and I saw a couple short videos, her and another chick. I gotta find the other woman, but this woman here, her name is what's her name? Annie Jacobson. All right, and I finally found her video. I knew she was on his platform, but I didn't know her name. I went through his platform and couldn't find her, couldn't match her face, but I found her name and got it. Now this video, she speaks on the nuclear missiles, man. And man, you know, I watched it all the way to about 44 minutes. So I got a little timestamps that I would like to play, and hopefully, Lord willing, pray you edified, you know, in this lesson, and that you get something, you know, from this lesson that builds upon your faith toward the Lord. All right, it's all about being edified, all right, and building upon your faith toward Yahweh Bashim Shai, because, you know, our goal is hoping that we're of the hopeful elect. You know, we're gonna be delivered when Yahweh Shai return. And man, she go into it, you know, and she's basically a book writer as well. So that's how she know a lot of things. She spoke with a lot of she actually spoke with the one who created and drawed up how the nuclear, well, let me say the ICBMs, the intercontinental ballistic missiles, how they go up and go to its target. And she said basically she was shocked, even though she wrote books on it, but the information that she came across from some of these guys that, you know, that work in that field, you know, that created these things or play a major part in dealing with them. She said that when a nuclear missile is shot off, there is no detonation, there is no cancellation. You know, once it's shot off, man. All right. And I was just thinking about the scriptures that she was talking, how in the Most High, He gonna put His Spirit in these missiles, man, and they're gonna be shot from one continent to the other, which mainly is gonna be destroying Babylon the Great, aka America, man. All right, and that's biblical. All right, this is what we believe. The Lord is gonna destroy this place from off the face of the earth. I think about Amos 9:8. He said His eyes are upon the sinful kingdom, and He will destroy it from off the face of the earth. Now, the sinful kingdom today, without a shadow of a doubt, is America. All right, and man, so without further ado, let's play this video while we take this ride.
Nations. Just weren't able to tell you. You know, I'd like to go maybe a little more into the scenario, but real quick, who are the 9 nations?
US, Russia, China, UK, France, Pakistan, India, Israel, North Korea.
Right. So he just asked her who has the nuclear missiles. You know, what is the 9 countries that have these intercontinental ballistic missiles? Rewind that back.
But real quick, who are the 9 nations?
US, Russia, China, UK, France, Pakistan, India, Israel, North Korea.
Iran's not on there yet.
Iran is not on there yet.
Right.
And good for us.
And so Trump, you know, and this is a year old interview. This interview is a year old. So that's why I couldn't find it. I didn't know how, I thought it was new, the way it come up on the feed like that. But it's actually a year old. And what Slovakia. What is America fighting now with Israel, Iran, to do what? Prevent them from a what? Nuclear missile. You know, you can't tell me this ain't biblical prophecy, man. All right. So let's continue.
But who would you, out of those nations, who would you be the most concerned about? Give me your top three.
North Korea.
North Korea.
North Korea. And that's how I begin the scenario. It's a launch from North Korea. One of the most interesting people I interviewed for this book, okay, this on the cover here is a thermonuclear bomb called Ivy Mike. This is the first thermonuclear bomb ever exploded in 1952 in the Marshall Islands. It was a test. Okay? Hiroshima was 15 kilotons. This is 10.4 megatons.
Wow.
Okay? Think about that scale. This weapon takes an atomic bomb, acts as its triggering mechanism inside the bomb. Okay? I interviewed the man who drew the plans for this bomb.
No kidding.
93 now. Richard Garwin. Talk about classified. His information was so classified, it was all, no one knew he even drew the plans to the bomb. He was 24 years old when he drew them.
Are you serious? Does he regret drawing them?
I asked him that question. I said, do you wish that you hadn't drawn the plans for the thermonuclear bomb? And he said to me, after a long pause, I wish they couldn't have been drawn.
Wow.
I mean, we could do a whole podcast on what that might mean,
Yeah.
right? Does it mean Russia would have drawn them anyways? Does it mean, right? But interviewing Garwin, who advised every president since then on nuclear weapons. You asked about why North Korea is like the most dangerous. Garwin, so sharp, and we did all these Zooms during COVID. And he presented, when I asked him, what's the biggest threat? He said a madman, sort of mad king logic is what he called it. A madman with a nuclear arsenal. And he said this French term, which is called après moi le déluge. After me, the flood. Okay? Right? Which is like, if you have a mad king leader who doesn't care what happens, let it all flood. That's what Garwin told me he was most afraid of. And so that made me interpret what he was speaking about. Because North Korea does not play by the rules. I mean, it's very tricky, rules of nuclear warfare, rules of nuclear testing. All nuclear armed nations inform their adversaries of their nuclear tests.
Now, she goes into, there's a lot in this video to really unpack. I'm hoping to get some good points. But she go into these nuclear missiles and how, she probably might get into it if I can get to it. On how when one nuclear missile is shot off at the U.S., the U.S. has like a policy or strategy that they has this thing where if you shoot one, we shooting 80, missiles on you, 80, because why would they allow a country to shoot a nuclear missile on them and destroy their missiles? So why not let their missiles fly? So I was thinking about man, the Lord gonna have a fireworks show. You think of 4th of July is something. The Lord gonna have a fireworks show when it comes to the end, man. It's gonna be fire everywhere. There's gonna be missiles flown and oh my, I was just visualizing, when she was speaking. I watched this yesterday. Man. So real quick before I play the video, let's get a quick precept. Y'all brothers know the scripture, so this is Joel 3:9. Proclaim ye among the Gentiles, prepare war. Wake up the mighty men. Let all the men of war draw near. Let them come up, beat your plowshares into swords, and your pruning hooks into spears. Let the weak say, I am strong. Assemble yourselves and come, all you heathen, and gather yourselves together round about. Thither cause thou mighty ones to come down, O Yahweh. Let the heathen be weakened, and come up to the valley of Jehoshaphat. For there will I sit to judge all the heathen round about. Put you in the sickle, for the harvest is ripe. Come get you down, for the press is full. The fats overflow, for their wickedness is great. Multitudes in the valley of decision, for the day of Yahweh is near in the valley of decision, man. So what is the Lord's determination? What is the Lord's determination? What is his determination? Let's read it. Right? Man. On the highway over here, look at them scriptures. Alright, this is the book of Zephaniah, chapter 3, verse 8. It says, therefore, wait you upon me, saith Yahweh, until the day that I rise up to the prey. For my determination is to gather the nations. My determination is to gather the nations, that I may assemble the kingdoms, to pour upon them my indignation. Excuse me. It says to pour upon them my indignation, even all my fierce anger. It says, for all the earth shall be destroyed with the fire of my jealousy. Alright? So the Most High determination is to gather the nations. And it's going to be good riddance for you well, not true, yeah, 2/3 of you here in America, man. This is why it's so important to pray, you know, and get this thing all you got if you were called into this truth to believe. Because you want to be a part of the 1/3, which is the elect, which is going to be delivered, all right, into a chariot, taken up, you know, scripture say wherever they was driven to, but mainly here in America, Babylon the Great, aka Babylon the Great, you're going to see a deliverance that was never seen on this earth before, you know. So these countries, these other nations, y'all got it in, the Lord got it in for you. It's a wrap. He got it in for you, man. You know? So let's continue on.
Informally, formally, you know, different ways.
And who's going to be destroyed? All of these armies of these different countries. The Most High is about to bring you all together to sweep your ass. All right? And the rest of you that's alive going to go into captivity. Okay? What's that? Isaiah. I'm thinking of the scripture precept. Isaiah 14. You know? Who captives they were. Right?
Not North Korea. They just launch. And when you learn what I have learned, and you can learn from reading this book, what happens inside nuclear command and control, inside those nuclear bunkers at the Pentagon, beneath STRATCOM, in Cheyenne Mountain. The first 150 seconds after a ballistic missile launches, when the satellite in space sees the launch, it sees the hot rocket exhaust from its incredible sensor, 1/10 of the weight of the moon, sees it. For the next 150 seconds, U.S. nuclear command and control, all those assigned to the job, are trying to figure out where that ballistic missile is going.
Right. Hey.
It's like...
you can't tell me, man, when the scriptures talk about his angels, because these devils, they have eyes. This technology, those satellites, they are their angels, man. They watch. And like she's mentioning, talking about, like what she's saying, North Korea, if they shot off a nuclear missile, the satellites are over there to watch. And she said within seconds, that satellite pick up to inform, you know, the U.S. of what's going on. And then I think she said he got like 30 minutes. But she said Russia's so advanced, I think it's about 26 minutes or something like that. I think she's gonna say it. how fast their missile can get to the east coast of Babylon the Great, aka America. You know, so let's continue.
I'm glad you brought that up because that's what I was going to ask. So the satellite's advanced enough to pick up on the trajectory and where it's headed and how fast.
So in seconds, the data goes to the satellite, and then it's relayed to command centers in the United States. There's a facility called the Aerospace Data Facility in Colorado that was only its existence was only declassified in 2008. Okay? And that facility then, and others, NSA, you know, there's numerous intelligence agencies, military intelligence agencies that are then in processing that data. This is happening in seconds, and interpreting the trajectory of the missile launch. So I show a map in the book that Garwin and Professor Emeritus at MIT, Ted Postal, drew, and then let me, you know, render and put in the book, that shows, so you can see a missile launching. It's a map, and then it shows the missile, and it shows their concentric rings. It's like at 10 seconds, this is where it might be going. At 20, so Guam is in one direction, Moscow's in that direction, and then you realize if it's going in that direction, San Francisco, East Coast, Hawaii, okay? So as the seconds tick away, the data is determining where that is headed.
So this is almost like it's like when a hurricane's inbound, except a lot faster. It just narrows in, narrows in, narrows in, narrows in.
And by 150 seconds, Stratcom, or you know, the Peterson Air Force Base, the Space Force, the Aerospace Data Center, they know this ballistic missile is headed toward the United States. 150 seconds. Normally, what North Korea does is send the satellite. They're sending it up to space to drop a satellite, so that's one different trajectory. Or they launch into the Sea of Japan. So within seconds, the facilities know it's going into the Sea of Japan. Everybody can relax now. But in my scenario, at 150 second, boom, oh my God, it's coming to the east coast of the United States. And that is when everything kicks off, because the next step is to inform the president. Now there must be a secondary confirmation of that nuclear missile on its way to the United States before the president launches a counterattack. That secondary confirmation takes 8 and 9 minutes. These are like nerd things that I figured out in the book and present them to you, hopefully in this incredibly dramatic manner that you realize, oh my God, once a ballistic missile launch happens, nuclear war begins. Because a ballistic missile cannot be redirected or recalled.
None of them. Not even our own.
None. And once President Reagan, okay, I mean, the lack of information the president has about nuclear war is astonishing.
Really?
President Reagan, and by the way, they have presidential sole authority, so only the president can launch nuclear war. Only the president. He doesn't ask permission of anyone. Not his SecDef, not his chairman of the Joint Chiefs of Staff, not the Congress, certainly not the Congress. This is all happening in 6 minutes. President's in charge. And most presidents, Leon Panetta confirmed this with me. He was the White House Chief of Staff under Clinton, right? And he said that many presidents just don't want to know. Because that, again, the paradox of nuclear war, deterrence will hold.
Don't want to know what?
They don't want to know about nuclear war.
That's frightening.
Because that's the end-all be-all. Trump came into office and said on that Joe Rogan show before he became president that when he get in office, he was going to bring peace. Instead, there's war, right? Instead, there's war. Israel versus Iran, which is still bickering. You know, things are happening, but, you know, and then America's helping Israel. Hey, the war is brewing. Russia still versus Ukraine is going on. So the Lord turned the fire down, all right, so prophecy can be fulfilled. Because what has to come out first? The MOTB, all right, which is the micro hip, where it says in Revelations 13:16, he calls of all, both small and great, rich and poor, free and bond, to receive a mark in his right hand or in his forehead, and that no man might buy or sell save he that had the mark. So it's going to come a point in time where they're going to have to push and force this micro hip, all right, and you're not going to be able to buy or sell without it. So that has to come to pass before the nukes come, all right. The nukes is the end all be all. So this war is brewing. You know, if you take a pot, you put some tea in it, some water in it, you know, some herbs in it or whatever, how you do it. You turn that fire up, you get that boil to boil, right? And then you turn the fire down because you don't want the water to run out, but everything has to line up perfectly. You know, you might make you a little tincture or something, you know, and you want that, you know, that water to, and the herbs to soak well, so it could be a good remedy, you know, a potent remedy. Well, the Most High is doing that. You've already read Zephaniah 3:8. His determination is to gather the nations, and that's what he's doing. That's what he's doing. But guess what? Jacob's trouble got to come to pass. The force of the MOTB. Oh man, sedition among men. Other things have to happen before the very end. So I want to bring out a quick precept while I can. Let's say these not in order, but I got this right here. This is Isaiah chapter 54:16. Behold, I created the smith that bloweth the coals in the fire, and that bringeth forth an instrument for his work. I have created the waster to destroy. So the Most High created the man to create those missiles, man. And like the cat said, Garner, she actually had sat down with him, I think that's his name, and he drew it up. The blueprint for, I guess, the nuclear missiles, or for it to be put from one continent to the other, whatever. He's like the creator or partial creator of what it is, whatever. The nukes. The Most High wanted that to happen. He put the spirit on that man to draw that up. He was the age of 24, right? Young man, and the Lord put the spirit on him to draw up the blueprint. You know. Now these Edomites, they regret because if it get into the wrong hands, like he said, a madman, somebody like a hothead like North Korea, which this year we haven't even, you know, seen a lot about North Korea. It's more so about Iran, because they're going to go into that war. They want to go over there. It's going to be that. But last year it was, you know, it was a lot about North Korea, right? And it gets into the wrong hands, they're going to shoot. Once one shoot, they all get shot, you know? When you think about it. So let me I'm about to almost here at the destination. So let me continue. It says, no weapon that is formed against thee shall prosper, and every tongue that shall rise up against thee in judgment thou shalt condemn. This is the heritage of the servants of Yahweh, and their righteousness is of me, saith Yahweh. So let's continue on a little bit more.
So Reagan mistakenly said during a press conference, and I think it was 1983, that our submarine-launched ballistic missiles can be recalled. They can't. He's the commander-in-chief.
Mm-hmm.
He didn't know.
Do you think it's possible that we have technology to recall them, but they're not declassifying it?
It's impossible. Right? But I love the astonishment with which people express themselves when they learn these details, because it is astonishing. And I had that same experience, even knowing what I know. I know so many other things about nuclear weapons from different points of view, having written a number of books that deal with people who dealt with nuclear weapons. But I never...
And when she mentioned that, what came across my mind was Joel, the 2nd chapter. And you brothers that know the scriptures, you know. Let's read that real quick. It says, blow ye a trumpet in Zion, and sound an alarm in my holy mountain. Let all the inhabitants of the land tremble, for the day of Yahweh cometh, for it is nigh at hand. The day of darkness and of gloominess, the day of clouds and thick darkness. It says, and the morning spread upon the mountains, and a great people and a strong. There have not been even the like, or ever the like, neither shall be any more after it, even of the years of many generations. It says, a fire devoureth before them, and behind them a flame burneth. The land is as the Garden of Eden before them, and behind them is a desolate wilderness. Yea, and nothing shall escape them, because what this is going into is the nuclear missiles. All right. And she said how these ICBMs cannot be recalled once it's shot. You know, it's made to the point where once it is shot, it's a wrap. Salakia. Verse 4, the appearance of them is as the appearance of horses, and as horsemen so shall they run. Like the noise of chariots on the top of mountains shall they leap. It says, like the noise of a flame, fire that devours the stubble, as strong people set in battle array. So the Most High is comparing it as if these nukes were warriors, you know, ready for war, ready to battle, ready to fight. But it's describing the nuclear missiles, okay? Lock it. Bear with me 1 second. One second. Let me play some more of this.
Knew the command and control ticking clock scenario, hypothetically in the future, until reporting this book. And I was shocked at everything I learned. Shocked at everything I learned. And it's such wait a minute, they really can't be redirected or recalled? Nope.
Wow. I did not know that. I did not know that. So you're saying within 6 minutes of something being launched towards us, we make a decision whether we're responding and sending one at them or not.
Yes. So think about it this way. When the nuclear, if it just takes approximately 30 minutes, the concept that has been put into play over decades of strategy of how to fight a nuclear war is that the president must make a counterattack decision.
There you go.
Before those nukes land. So this is all going to happen without the public ever having any idea, okay? The reason is because no one ever thought of having a nuclear war where there's like one nuclear missile. The rogue launch off of Garwin's worry is how my scenario starts. And then you see all these things go wrong. The war-fighting concepts of nuclear war were built with like, Russia's gonna send 1,000 missiles. The mother load, it's often called. And so a strategy kicks in called use them or lose them. Very simple to understand, right? If we don't use them, we're gonna lose them to the Russian incoming missiles. And so that's why the president is positioned to make a counterstrike within a window of time before the missiles hit.
So basically, they have 6 minutes. Why is the number 6 minutes?
So, okay, 30 minutes is the nuclear launch gets detected in, let's say, 150 seconds.
So we got 2.5 minutes gone automatically.
Right, gone. Everybody's now getting ready to prepare the president. At the same time, the long-range ground radar systems that are going to give that secondary confirmation, which exist in multiple places around the world. I write about them quickly in the book. In this scenario, if the missile's coming from North Korea, it's going to be the ground station in Alaska. They have this massive radar. I have a picture of it in the book. It's like 5 stories tall. It's just sitting there waiting to see over the horizon. That will happen at 8 or 9 minutes. In the meantime, they have to get ready to brief the president. People I have interviewed had to brief the president when we had false alarms, okay? So it's like really this intense, suddenly everything is moved. The decision tree unfolds in this radical way. And while the individual leaders, the STRATCOM commander, the SecDef, the chairman of the Joint Chiefs of Staff, are getting ready to brief the president, they're waiting on the secondary confirmation. But once the president is told, so there is it's called the red clock is running, and that clock in the strategic command headquarters is ticking down until the missile's going to strike, in this case, Washington, D.C. Now they have to get the blue clock running. The blue clock is the counterattack. Okay? So you send General Hyten, another former STRATCOM commander, during the fire and fury rhetoric of Trump, did an interview with Barbara Starr from CNN, and she asked him directly about this. Like, what do we do if they launch at us? And Hyten said, if they launch one missile, we launch one. If they launch two, we launch two. But if you dig a little bit deeper, as I did, and it's all sourced in the book, when you're reading, if you ever wonder, how does she know this? You can go to the back and you can see the notes of the documents where it comes from. So the deeper digging revealed that if North Korea launches one missile at us, we're going to launch 82 in response.
82?
82.
I mean, seems a little excessive.
Overkill.
You know,
it's called escalate to de-escalate.
When you look at the size of Korea. But I mean, would it take how many missiles would it take to just completely obliterate Korea?
82.
It would actually take 82 missiles.
No, you're absolutely right. But there is a sense of overkill, literally and figuratively. And you know this from your operating days, that like...
So if you brothers got the vision, you already know, man. It's going to be like fireworks. You know, but greater. Devastation, man, from Yahweh Bashem Yahushai. All right? Which the God Almighty. All right? Al-Asijah. Whew. Because these missiles gonna fly. And why these missiles have to fly? Because if one shoot one missile, ICBM, well, you better off letting off all of your ICBMs on that country that's shooting the missile, because you're gonna lose them. So, man, let me continue this. Joel 2:5. Like the noise of chariots on the top of mountains shall they leap, like the noise of a flame of fire that devoureth the stubble, as a strong people set in battle array. Before their face the people shall be much pain. All faces shall gather blackness. They shall run like mighty men. They shall climb the wall like men of war. And they shall march every one on his ways. And they shall not break their ranks. Neither shall one thrust another. They shall walk every one in his path. And when they fall upon the sword, they shall not be wounded. So there's going to be no defense that can take these missiles out, these ICBMs, man, these intercontinental ballistic missiles. Because first of all, the Most High is going to have his spirit on it, and it's going to be a force that can't be reckoned with. Just like Yahweh Shai coming back, he's going to be an angelic power that cannot be reckoned with. You cannot kill Yahweh Shai. You cannot shoot down the angels that ride in the chariots of Yahweh, man. When the Most High puts his spirit on you, you're going to get busy. Just like the brothers. When the Lord activate the spiritual powers in brothers, the scriptures say they shall be willing in the day of thy power. You're going to get down, man. What military, what gun, what physical object could hurt you? None. If the Most High be with us, who can be against us? As Apostle Paul said. If Yahweh Bashem Yahushua be with us, who could be against you? This is the power of the universe, which the world is about to witness, right? And you heard it through his ambassadors, the prophets that he sent out there week in and week out, that you all scoff and take delight in your scorning. And you misuse the prophets. You see? So, Wisdom of Solomon, the 5th chapter, my favorite, always bring it up. Excuse me, I'm excited. So far beyond all that they look for. You know? The strangeness of their salvation, roughly paraphrasing. Because they don't look for this. They don't think that the men of the Lord are telling the truth. You think we're crazy. We're the doomsday prophets. you know, we're madmen, we're out of our minds, this is some black, you know, cult, you know, and you people just don't realize, and you're gonna be, the Lord gonna bring it to your face, man. He gonna bring it to your face, and you're gonna be at awe, man. You're gonna be marveled. You're gonna marvel, excuse me. You're gonna be afraid, you know, and the Most High is gonna judge you wicked niggas, man. All right, 2/3 of his people, and then he gonna come for you heathens, especially you Edomites who rule this world. All right, because he's snatching your power away from you. This is Edom set in his own trap. You know, the book of Job, you know, he shall how it goes, set upon his own snare, you know, a trap. He made a trap for himself. See, these ICBMs, if one shoot, you gotta let them fly. These ICBMs is just like AI. AI's taking over. Okay. Then what is AI? Demons, spirits that control, you know, these technology robots, which really the Most High control, the Heavenly Father. So let me finish reading. It says, they shall run to and fro in the city. They shall run upon the wall. They shall climb up upon the houses. They shall enter into the windows like a thief. Right? When it comes into it comes into this atmosphere, to the target, there's nothing that's going to be able to stop it. And like a thief, what she just said, she mentioned within 6 minutes when one is shot, she said the public won't even know that all this stuff is happening. So that's like a thief in the night, man. That's why when I was watching this yesterday, I'm just like, yo, I'm visualizing the end, like, man, because the Lord put the scriptures here, right? So will they make an announcement? In the movies they show you, you know, I forgot what movie that was, they made an announcement, dear fellow Americans, you know. You know, but it might not be an announcement. It's just gonna be fire. Oh man, woo! The earth shall quake before them, the heavens shall tremble, the sun and the moon shall be dark, and the stars shall withdraw their shining. And Yahweh shall utter his voice before his army, for the camp is very great, for he is strong and executed his word. For the day of Yahweh is great and very terrible, and who can abide it? And who can abide it? You see? Now I can keep going on, but let's just stop there. All right? Even Yahweh Shai said he comes like a thief in the night. You know? And he gonna get down. He gonna get busy, man. So let's continue on just a little bit more, and I gotta go.
You know, it's like go big or go home. I mean, the idea, there's a concept with the president that was explained to me by one of the President Obama's national security advisors named John Wolfthal, who sat in the room with the president when this was being negotiated. Okay, so there's a policy in the United States called launch on warning, and this exists. Okay, which this is the idea. This is the president has the authority that if the missiles are coming, he launches. We launch on warning. We do not wait until we are hit. And Wolfstall explained to me that what that has to do with is what's called a damage limitation responsibility. Okay, everything has like a term that is difficult to come out of the mouth. It's why they have acronyms for them. But this is pointing to your why do we have to launch 82 questions? So the president now has a responsibility to limit further damage. That's what his military is telling him. So a strike with a 1 megaton thermonuclear weapon against Washington, D.C. that I describe, it kills 2 million people, Sean. That never mind that the things are about to really take off. It destroys the beating heart of American governance. That is like, the response is 82 nuclear weapons. The damage limitation responsibility, because all the military Stratcom is thinking at that point is, you're gonna let another nuke come in. And so the 82, we learn from the scientists and the analysts who have spent a lot of time looking at this, is how to limit the damage. 82 nuclear weapons could possibly take out, not just like turn the entire country into a furnace, but obliterate their nuclear command and control, their ability to launch more nuclear weapons. That's why that is set up that way.
Man, I would think 8.
So now, do you believe? Do you believe in Yahweh Ba'Shem Yahweh Shai? As the scriptures say, he created the, it says, behold, I created the smith that bloweth the coals in the fire, and that bringeth forth an instrument for his work, and have created the waster to destroy. All right? Let me bring this out. Isaiah 13:4, the noise of a multitude in the mountains, like as of a great people, a tumultuous noise of kingdoms of nations gathered together. Yahweh, the Lord of hosts, which means the Lord of armies, right? Mustereth the hosts of the battle. They come from a far country, from the end of heaven, even Yahweh, and the weapons of his indignation to destroy the whole land. It says, how ye, for the day of Yahweh is at hand, and it shall come as a destruction from the Almighty. Now, I was also thinking about the lake of fire. When you got 82 missiles, right, and that's just coming from America being shot off. Let's say in a scenario of North Korea, that place is destroyed, obliterated. There is no recovery. So you know what the Most High is going to do to Babylon the Great when all these missiles from Russia, China, even America's own allies going to shoot missiles on this place? And she mentioned the 9 countries that have nuclear missiles, right, in the beginning of the video. This place, North America, is going to be a desert, as the Lord said. How is it going to be a desert? Through the nuclear fire and also the concentrated fire of the chariots of Yahweh, which are the angels that ride in those vehicles, which the world calls UFOs. This place is about to be a desert, man. If you can't see it, then it ain't meant for you to see. You're going to see it at the end. Or matter of fact, 2nd Esdras 9 said they must know it after death by pain. That means you're going to have to die on this side in order for you to understand and get the truth. You know, you Israelites. Because it's like, it's so evident now. Like everything that the Lord is putting out here, the scriptures are screaming, bro. If you know the scriptures, it's like, yo. All praises to Yahweh Ba'Shem Yahweh Shai. Now, I can't read all these scriptures. Read that. Revelations 8:13, and behold, and I heard an angel flying through the midst of heaven, saying with a loud voice, woe, 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 which all 3 of these woes represents world war. World War I, World War II, and World War III. It says, and the inhabitants of the earth, by reason of the other voices of the trumpet of the 3 angels which are yet to sound. This is Revelations 11:14. The second woe is past, and behold, the third woe cometh quickly. And this war is coming, is here, right? What did Apostle Paul say? Salvation is nearer than when we believe, right? Jeremiah 50:29. Call together the archers against Babylon, all ye that bend the bow, camp against it round about. Let none thereof escape. Recompense her according to her work, according to all that she have done, do unto her, for she have been proud against Yahweh, against the Holy One of Israel. All right, and this is Bible prophecy. Okay, we read that. 29. This is Jeremiah 50:9. For lo, I will raise and cause to come up against Babylon an assembly of a great nation from the north country, and they shall set themselves in array against her. From thence she shall be taken. Their arrows shall be as a mighty expert man, none shall return in vain. Call together the archers against Babylon, all ye that bend the bow, camp against it round about it. Let none thereof escape. Recompense her according to her work, according to all she have done, do unto her, for she have been proud against Yahweh, against the Holy One of Israel. All right, so that's basically the lesson. It's a lot more gems, or a little bit more information in here. The whole video to me is good. It's about damn near 3 hours long, man. I got to probably maybe 50 minutes, maybe an hour, but I just tried to, you know, timestamp it for the video's sake to do a video. So hopefully you brothers and you few sisters who watch were edified. You know, shit, I'm kind of late now, but I'll be all right. Wanted to finish this lesson though. So With that, I want to give all praises, honor, and glory to Yahweh, Bahashim Yahweh Shai, Bahashim Rakha Kodash. Double honors to my apostles and elder bishops here in Great Millstone who rule well. Salutations to the Lord's elect. Shalom.